Villains. What are our favorite villains in Power Rangers, Claude?
5 would be Zeltrax and Dino Thunder. He was badass. Like, he fought Tommy all the time. I'm like, man, yeah. He used to be giving Tommy the hardest time. I'm telling you. I'm like, Zeltrax, that dude, though. Master Org, number 4 from Wild Force. Yeah, he's badass. Like, anytime you a villain and it take a group of Rangers 3 times to kill you. And
that's true.
That's you badass. 3, my dude Ramsey from Time Force. Time Force Ramsey. Ramsey was badass. Like, come on now. Nothing more needs to be said. What you say? Where's my
I need my serum.
I need my serum. Laura Zed. Come on now. Number 2. Laura Zed was just funny. Him and Rita going at it just hilarious. He and every little thing just make upsetting him. Anything, just saying the word Ranger just upsets him. It's just funny, but he was badass. And Rita, come on, the original villain. Come on.
My top 5, I have Diva Tox actually as my number 5. I thought she was Viva la Diva. I thought she was pretty. She's pretty cool, and she was whiny and everything, but she had, pretty cool clothes, and I just loved how immature she was. And she and her nephew Elgar, when they were always going at it, that was hilarious. Diva Tox. Diva Tox in her little, she's looking around.
Right.
I just thought she was pretty cool. Number 4 would be Astronema. I love Astronema, and I would put her as number 1, but there are people out there that are greater than her. I mean, all the boys are like, cat suit all the way. I just thought it was cool, that you actually find out she's Andros' sister, and I also like that her hair changed color like every 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty neat.
Like, who is she? Nicki Minaj? Like, come on.
I have Lord Zed as number 3. I mean, Zed, he was alright. He was, badass and everything. He came in after Rita, but, he just hollering all the time, and even that staff, and, he's alright.
That staff made him even more badass.
And I have Rita as number 2, and it's mostly because Rita, she's just funny, especially when she's mad, and she's always, like, screaming, and that episode when Kimberly had to imitate her, spot on. Like, Rita, just awesome. Yeah. And my number 1 is Rancic from Time Force, and the serum thing was hilarious. But I think that it was kind of gross but cool at the same time, that he could, like, pull bones out of his body as weapons. Remember how he pulled it out of his kneecap? I thought it was pretty cool.
Like, what? And the fact that his sword was the bone, I'm like,
I thought it was cool. He was pretty neat, and his story was a little touching as to how he came to be the way he was. It was kind of sad. He was made out of waste, That was pretty cool.
He's made out of waste?
Pretty much. Watch the episode. I don't feel like going into detail. But, so those are our favorite Power Rangers. As far as seasons are concerned, what do you think? What is your, top 5, seasons of the show? Like, what do you think were, like, the best ones that, like, came out or whatever? Do you, like, have any? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm messing with his homework.
In Space would be number 5. Like I said, it was a lot with that. Great chemistry among the Rangers, and only the first Power Ranger series to actually be in space, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so, it was good. Dino Thunder would be number 4. It was so much with Dino Thunder. Like, of course, with Tommy being in it. The White Ranger was awesome, and the villains that they had to face, and the fact that Tommy was a teacher, and he had so much connections with every villain that he faced. Mesogog and Zeltrax, he was partners with. Mm-hmm. Elsa, of course, he worked with her at high school, and the fact that his fellow Rangers were his students, made it even better and more interesting. So yeah, Dino Thunder was awesome. Ninja Storm, come on now, Ninja Storm.
Aww.
Yeah, it was awesome. Okay.
Aww.
The first introduction, Was it the first? Yeah, the first introduction of three Rangers, a three Ranger team actually. And yeah, they defied all the odds. Eventually, they branched out to six, but they had some of the best powers and several mini Zords. But yeah, it's just awesome. But Wild Force is number two. Wild Force is just amazing. So many Zords, great Rangers, great storyline. He is just hating on all of my choices. She, like every choice that I chose, she just pretty much like hate on him. But
I do not like Wild Force. I'm sorry.
and number one, everybody should agree with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So yeah, and surprisingly, you're gonna be shocked at her list. My list, her list.
Fine.
You all will find out what's wrong with her list.
Number 5, Power Rangers Zeo. I actually I liked Power Rangers Zeo. I thought it was cool, and it's mostly because it was a continuation of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I mean, you still have all your original casting except for like Kimberly and Aisha, because Aisha and Tanya traded spots. But I did like the storylines, and I thought it was good, especially King for a day when Tommy was kind of like evil and everything and thought the Power Rangers were his enemies. I thought that was cool. I didn't like the Machine Empire, but I did like everything else about the show, so that's why it's number 5.
Lies. You said the costumes look gay.
Costumes do look gay.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm lying. I'm sorry. I just left something out. Excuse me. Number 4 for me is Power Rangers Dino Thunder. Like he said, I think that's cool that Tommy, was friends with all these people and had no idea that they were his enemies. I think that's cool. And I just liked, it started out with the 3 Rangers, and then Tommy gets his powers, and then Trink gets his powers. The only thing that I didn't really like is Tommy didn't really have a super good Zord. I mean, the Brachiozord, it was basically just like a carrier. I'm talking about the beginning, he just had that, it just carried the other Zords pretty much, or it could attach onto it,
True.
It wasn't, cool like his previous Zords.
Yeah.
Number 3 for me is Power Rangers in Space. I just loved it. It was in outer space. They had cool costumes, cool weapons. I thought that was cool. Like, I liked Cassie's satellite stunner. And I just liked it. It was pretty cool. And then that's where the Psycho Rangers were introduced. I loved Power Rangers in Space. It was cool. Number 2 for me is Power Rangers Time Force. I love Time Force. Come on, Claude. I love Time Force, if you can't tell by now. I thought it was cool. You have Rangers. It was the first series that has to deal with time travel. But, of course, now you've got, like, RPM and, what else was it? SPD and stuff that has to deal with the future. But this was the first step for using Future Rangers that came back to the past. And I thought that was kind of cool how, it was kind of creepy at the same time. Like, Jen's fiance was actually Wes's aunt. Like, confusing, but I thought it was a pretty good storyline. And of course, number 1, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's what started everything, and without that, Power Rangers wouldn't even be here today. So you can't even say that that's not number 1. Come on now.